Hey, good morning, everyone. Happy Thursday morning to you, and welcome back to Morning Musings. I'm just sitting here going over some of the things that I wrote in the book, Paul on Trial, Paul, the Pharisees, and the Resurrection. I have to tell you, these last two books that I have just introduced, Watching for the Parousia, were Jesus' apostles confused? And they're very simple, they're very basic in some ways. But they address two of the most fundamental arguments against preterism that are argued. Number one, we are told that Jesus' apostles inappropriately, ignorantly, naively linked to follow Jerusalem with the Lord's coming in the end of the age in Matthew 24. The fact is, ladies and gentlemen, those apostles were not confused. It's modern commentators who deny the connection between the fall of Jerusalem, the coming of the Lord, and the end of the age. Those commentators are the ones who are confused. And then secondly, and look, just over the last few weeks, one person on Facebook after another has made the argument the Pharisees believed in physical resurrection. Paul said he was a Pharisee. Therefore, Paul must have believed in a physical resurrection. Now look, I used to believe that argument. I once believed it was valid. Just like I once accepted most of the futurist arguments and found out they were false. But if you're going to make that argument, you have to face the consequences and the implications of that argument. And you know what? I don't find very many people willing to face the consequences and implications of that argument. There's literally not another book out there like this. I found two books on Amazon on the trial of Paul. One took the position that the trial of Paul proves that Paul was a liar. Nope, not like this book. Nothing like that in this book. The other one took the traditional view that Pharisees were believers in physical resurrection. Paul said he was a Pharisee, therefore Paul affirmed the physical resurrection. No, he didn't. No, he did not. So I've been introducing these two books and offering a free book, total delivered price of $25. Go to my website, donkpreston.com. If you purchase these three books separately, it would cost you $50, including shipping. But for the month of August 2020, U.S. orders only, guess what? Total delivered price, $25. Now, yes, I'm still waiting on my inventory on where Jesus' apostles confused. They should be here just any day now. But go ahead and order. The moment the inventory comes in, we'll be mailing those books out. And again, if you want to substitute, he came as a thief, just send me a note that says you want to do the substitution. Now, we started our examination of the doctrine of the Lord's coming as a thief. The argument is made on Matthew chapter 24 that, pardon me, that the Lord talked about his coming in AD 70, Matthew 24, 4 to 35. But in Matthew 24, 36 and following, he changes the subject to his coming as a thief. His coming as a thief is supposed to be his coming at the end of time. That simply will not work. I hope you've begun to see this. And again, I've got a whole lot more in this little book. So I want you to consider the following. Now, yesterday I posed the following question to you. Let me go back over that ground because it's so incredibly important. Will those who argue that the coming of the Lord as a thief in 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 10, is supposed to be an end of time coming of the Lord to destroy heaven and earth and put an end to history, is that the same coming of Matthew 24? Will they tell us? Well, of course it is. Okay. Is it the same coming of the Lord as a thief as found in 1 Thessalonians chapter 5? Well, they tell us absolutely it most assuredly is. Well, wait a minute. As I pointed out yesterday, and I know this is a bit of a review, but look, you just got to catch the power of these connections. The coming of the Lord in 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 was something the Thessalonians knew about. And it would not come upon them as a thief, but upon the unbelievers. It was to be in their lifetime, just like Jesus taught in Luke chapter 12, 37 to 40, in which Jesus warned his own apostles, his personal apostles, you yourselves, gird up your loins and be watchful, because you don't know the hour in which your Lord will come. He will come as a thief. Well, once again, okay, if the coming of the Lord of 2 Peter chapter 3 is the same coming of the Lord as a thief in Luke chapter 12, then the coming of the Lord as a thief in Luke chapter 12 is one that was supposed to happen in the apostles' lifetime. Because remember this, folks, this is so critically important. If Jesus predicted that he was coming in the fall of Jerusalem in that generation without fail, then he could not be telling his apostles to be watching for his coming as a thief at the end of time before AD 70. I mean, you simply cannot say, hey guys, I'm positively coming in the fall of Jerusalem in AD 70, and then turn right around and say, wait. Before that happens, I may come to destroy heaven and earth. See, it makes no sense. Now, is the coming of the Lord of 2 Peter chapter 3 as a thief the same coming of the Lord as a thief in Revelation chapter 16? Is it the same coming of the Lord as a thief as in Revelation chapter 3 and verse 3? Well, wait a minute. If you say it's not the same coming of the Lord as a thief as in Revelation chapter 3, because after all, the coming of the Lord as a thief in Revelation chapter 3 and verse 3 was absolutely, positively, pardon me, just like Luke 12, just like 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, was to be in the first century. The Lord told the church at Sardis, if you do not watch, I will come upon you as a thief, and you don't know the hour I'm coming. Oh, but wait. Once again, if it's admitted that Luke chapter 12 is not 2 Peter 3, if it's admitted that 2 Peter 3, the day of the Lord as a thief, is not the coming of the Lord as a thief in Revelation chapter 3, then you're admitting that the reference to the coming of the Lord as a thief, number one, doesn't have to refer to the end of time, and you have to admit that it's coming as the Lord as a thief, for which there would be signs for which they in the first century could know about it. Oh. And once again, is the coming of the Lord of 2 Peter chapter 3, his coming as a thief, the same coming of the Lord as a thief in Revelation chapter 16? The coming of the Lord as a thief in Revelation chapter 16 would be his coming to avenge the blood of the martyrs in the destruction of Jerusalem, i.e. Babylon. Oh, wait a minute. The destruction of Jerusalem, i.e. Babylon, was absolutely positively to be in the first century, Matthew 23, 29 to 37. Now, if it's true that the coming of the Lord as a thief to vindicate the martyrs at the destruction of Babylon was to be in the first century, according to Jesus in Matthew 23, then unless you're willing to admit that the coming of the Lord as a thief in the judgment of Jerusalem, unless you're willing to admit that, but if you do, then the whole argument about a divided discourse goes out the window. It goes up in smoke. It melts away. Folks, I'm sorry. You can't argue and admit Revelation 16 was AD 70, the judgment of Jerusalem / Babylon, and then turn right around and say, oh, wait, but 2 Peter chapter 3, that's totally different. And oh, by the way, let me make this point. No, I'll save it for Monday, okay? Because I'm going to point something out to you from Revelation chapter 16 about, quote, heaven and earth passing away, that is really important. I'll see you on the flip side.